All right, fifth graders, today we are going to be taking a look at some more volume, this time dealing with other kinds of prisms, except that kind of differ from the rectangular prisms we were working with yesterday. So we're going to really focus today on a triangular prism. And a prism, when you're talking about a 3D shape, is just any shape that has a base or two bases that are the same shape. So you can see here, triangular prism is called a triangular prism because both of its bases are triangles. I have a triangle here, and if I went all the way down there, now because you can't see through this shape, there would be another triangular base on that side. And then it's kind of connected together with parallel lines that make these big rectangles. And we can make prisms with different shaped bases all over, but we're going to really focus on triangular prisms. Now, when we're trying to find the volume, remember volume is how much space something takes up, we're going to use a new formula, and we have to find first the area of this base. Now, this process can change depending on the shape. We know how to find the area of a shape. We know that that's 1/2 times base times height. If this was a circle, which would make, instead of we wouldn't call it a circular prism, we would call it a cylinder. We'd have to know how to find the area of that circle. Whatever the shape of the base is, we've got to know how to do that. But that's our first step. We find the area of whatever the base is, and then we simply multiply it by the height. All right, so let's take a look at this one. So the measurements are already there for us. We have a measurement of 8 feet kind of wide is this triangular base, and then 7 feet high. Well, we know that to find the area of a triangle, we take 1/2 of base times height. So if we start filling this in, base is 8, height is 7. So our first step would be to take 8 times 7. All right, so hopefully in your minds, you know that quite well, that is 56. 8 times 7, multiply that together is 56. But now we have, because it is a triangle, we have to divide it by 2. 56 divided by 2. Now, if you don't know this in the top of your head, you certainly can go off to the side. We know how to do some long division. 56 divided by 2. I know that 2 goes into 5 2 times. Bring the 4 down. We're using all of our math skills here. Bring the 6 down is 16, and we get 28. So the area of our base in this triangular prism is 28. Now the next step is we multiply it by the height. Well, our height in this is actually 10. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because if you look at this shape, you'd say, wait a minute, height is how tall something is, and look at this shape. The 10 is kind of on this bottom line, and you're right about that. But when we talk about height, we talk about how far apart the two different bases are. So even though this triangular prism is kind of on its side, if we were to set it on a base, which would be the triangle would be like facing down at the table, the other base would be directly above it, and there would be 10 feet in between that. Okay, so think of that height not as how tall it is, but what is the distance between the two bases. All right, so we have 10. All right, well, 28 times 10 gets me 280. Now, because this is volume, I have to look. We're working in feet, so I would put feet. And because it's a volume, we used 3 different measurements here, the 7, the 8, and the 10. So it becomes, we put that little 3 up there, meaning it is cubed. So our final answer for the area of this triangular prism is 280 feet cubed, or cubic feet. There's lots of ways we can say it. But what you're going to want to know is whenever we find the area of a prism, which we're going to do a few times over the next few days, to find the area, you take the area of that base, first, whatever shape it is, and then multiply it by the height. All right, good luck.